So in this session, we are going to build a complete vectorization pipeline. We will take a real document from Google Drive, convert it into vectors and store it inside Pinecone vector database. So the question is, why do we need this? Because AI means LLM cannot understand raw text directly. If we give a document as it is, the system cannot search or understand meaning properly. So we need to convert text into embeddings called numbers. These embeddings capture the meaning of the text, not just keywords. This embedding representation of the text allows us to build smart search systems, chat with documents like application, RAG-based applications. So this step is the foundation of many real-world AI systems that we are going to simulate here on n8n using Pinecone vector database or Pinecone vector store. First of all, before we move ahead and implement this vectorization pipeline that you can see on the screen, we need to have a Pinecone index where the embeddings and the chunks, means pieces of the text, can be stored. So let's move to our Pinecone account. I already logged in with my Gmail account. You can do the same. Now we have to click on this database and indexes. Here I have already created these two indexes, but let's create new index, new Pinecone index. Let's click over here, create index. We can give any name. Let me give data thinkers. And here we need to configure how embeddings will be stored. So I am going to select this particular model, text embedding 3 small. You can choose any, right? Let's move down and you can see by default dimension is 512. Let's select 1536. This is because this model generates vectors of size 1536. So this index will act as a storage layer where both the text and its corresponding embeddings will be saved, right? So now our index is ready. So let's click here, create index, done. And also you can see no record yet because we haven't performed any task, right? That's why no records yet, but shortly you will see some records when we perform some task, right? Now this is done. Our Pinecone index is ready. Let's back to n8n and here in the workflows, let's create a new workflow. First, let's click over here and let's give some name, vector store or vectorization, any name you can give. Now let's click over here, add first step. Here let's search for Google Drive. Let's click over here and we have to select from these actions and download files, and in the parameters, this Google Drive account that we have already connected, file, you can select file, folder, whatever you want, but let's select file because we are going to use PDF file. I will show you it, right? Download, and here this is the content from my Google Drive. Let's select smartcampus.pdf that I have created just to simulate this vectorization pipeline. You can see this is the document, Smart Campus AI Assistant, knowledge base document. So this is the document, right, that I have uploaded on my Google Drive, which is connected with n8n. So this is the document that we are going to use, right? Done. Let's check it whether it is connected and we can download this particular PDF file or not. Let's click on execute step. And also from here we can download our file that you can see, right? So the file is downloaded successfully, means n8n is connected with our Google Drive properly with this particular document. Now let's press escape key. Let's move it here. If you observe, a default trigger is already added. When we click this button, execute workflow, it will trigger this particular step, download file automatically, right? So which is defaultly added by n8n. Now we have to add Pinecone vector store that just we have configured, right? This one. So let's click here on this plus button and search for Pinecone vector store. And here from actions, we have to select add document to vector store. We already connected this account, So select this, insert documents is okay, Pinecone index that just we have created, right? This one. We are going to select this particular index. So these many indexes are already available, but I am going to select this one that just we have created, data thinkers. Done. I am keeping embedding batch size as it is. I think done. Let's press escape key. Now this one, embeddings. Let's click over here and search for embeddings open AI. Let's click over here. You can see the model is already selected, open AI account which is already connected. Done. Let's press escape key. So now next step, document. Let's click over here, this plus button, and you can see default data loader. Load data from previous step in the workflow. Let's click over here. Type of data. We have binary data, right? PDF file. Load all input data, and I'm keeping this automatically detect by MIME type. Splitting simple, which splits every 1000 characters with a 200 character overlap, right? This overlap to make context between two chunks, but I'm selecting custom, connect a custom text splitting subnode. Let's click over here. Now let's press escape key to back to our workflow. Now let's click over here, text splitter, this plus sign, and we are going to select recursive character text splitter. This splitter split text into chunks by characters recursively, recommended for most use cases. Let's click over here, recursive character text splitter, and here by default chunk size is 1000, but let's select 500, and chunk overlap, let's select 50. So here overlap helps to keep context between the chunks, so the important meaning is not lost. Let's press escape key. Now I think all done. Let's execute our workflow by clicking on this button, execute workflow. You can see the process has been started. Done. You can see workflow executed successfully. Now let's check on Pinecone console. Let's click over here. So you can see we have created this index data thinkers, and we can see multiple chunks stored over here on Pinecone vector database, means vector store, that you can see. Each chunk contains text and its corresponding embeddings that you can see over here, right? So as you can see, we have successfully completed our vectorization pipeline. So now let's understand one more time what each node is doing. So when we press this button, execute workflow trigger node, it starts the workflow. Then Google Drive node, which downloads the smart campus file, our PDF file. Then this one, default data loader, converts file into readable text. Then our recursive character text splitter breaks text into smaller chunks. Then embeddings open AI converts each chunk into vectors, and our Pinecone vector store stores vectors and text into index. You can see our index. So each node performs one task, and together they convert a document into vectors and store it in Pinecone vector database that you can see, right? So trigger, then Google Drive, then data loader, then text splitter, then embeddings, and Pinecone vector store. So this is our final flow, and this way vectorization pipeline works. And this is the foundation of building RAG systems, document search and AI assistance, right? So we have successfully read document from Google Drive, convert it into vectors, and store it inside Pinecone vector store. Let's move on.